مساكم الله بالخير وحياكم الله في يوم سابع. للحضارات تاريخ وقاموس أثري بكل تجلياته، وهي مادة علمية تستهوي الباحثين. خلدت معالم وتركت فيها رسائل مطمورة. من هذه المعالم تشكلت فراهن الحدث والوجهة، فاستقطبت الكثيرين من المطلعين من هواة الدراسات والتدقيق. البعض يحاول فك شفرة رموز هذه المعالم، والبعض الآخر يقف في ذهول تام أمام هندستها الفلكية ودقة تصميمها. من هذه المعالم الأهرامات اللي للحين ما حد عارف شنو سرها وشنو ارتباطها في الحساب الفلكي والسنين الفلكية والاتجاهات الكونية، وشلون طالت يعني أبعد من ذلك. مؤخرا ومع أحدث التقنيات بات من الممكن قياس مجالها الكهرومغناطيسي وشنو مساراتها الطاقية اللي مصممة عشانها. يعني راح نكتشف ان اليوم ان الاهرامات ما انبنت عشان والله قبر وعشان فرعون، انبنت عشان اشياء ثانية. وهل من ممكن استخدام طبعا هذه الاهرامات في العلاجات على المدى البعيد، في الطاقة؟ هذه المحاور راح نكتشفها اليوم مع الدكتور عثمانيتش، دكتور سامي من بوسنيا، وهو مكتشف خطير اكتشف اشياء جديدة في خصوص الاهرامات. فانا ارحب بدكتور سامي في اليوم سابع. ويلكم دكتور.
السلام عليكم and good evening.
Thank you. دكتور سامي، اكتشفت او يعني ينسب لك اكتشاف ان الاهرامات ليست من الفراعنة، وان هناك اهرامات في كل العالم. كيف تبرهن هذه النظرية؟
We live in very exciting times. What my experience in last 25 years has taught me is that almost everything they teach us about ancient history is wrong. The original,
everything. كل شيء
almost everything. The origin of man, civilizations and pyramids. For pyramids, they were telling us they are built only in Egypt and Mexico. Wrong. They are built on all 6 continents. In China, 250 pyramids. In Peru, 250. In Peru, 300. In Mesoamerica, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize. Mayan built 100,000 pyramids. In the Nubian Kingdom, in Sudan, 224. In Australia, 7. Island of Mauritius, 7. Canary Islands, dozens of pyramids. The world of the past was the world of the pyramids, and we need to investigate them in the 21st century.
كيف تعتقد أن هذه الأهرامات مرتبطة ببعض؟ يعني قد تكون هذه بنيان متشابه.
I'm the author of a new classification. I say there are original, the oldest, the biggest pyramids, and those who were built later as replicas. So, the first builders were the most advanced. And when I see pyramids in China, Egypt, Bosnia, Mexico, Peru, they have common features
like
geometry, orientation to the cardinal points, east, west, north, south, artificial construction material, and underground labyrinth. So we can see that there was communication between those ancient builders.
فإن الأهرامات موجودة في مصر فقط هذه خطأ.
Exactly. In Egypt, there is not only 3 most famous pyramids in Giza. In Egypt, 155 pyramids.
155.
But the most important thing is, the oldest pyramids are the most superior. Those that came later, very inferior from the mud bricks. And the biggest one, from granite and limestone. This is not what they teach us in schools. They tell us before primitive man, today most advanced. The history is different. not linear progress, but cycles, one cycle after another. All the holy books and Quran, of course, are saying the more developed civilizations were existing in past. We need to travel and learn from those experiences why they are gone.
اوكي. هل هناك يعني فراعنه في الاهرامات هذه؟
In biggest Egyptian pyramids, there are no mummies of pharaohs. In Cheops, no mummy of Cheops. Khafre, no mummy. Myceren, no Sneferu, no Djoser. They will never find the mummies.
And the others around the country, around the world?
No. The pharaohs were buried in the Valley of Kings, 300 kilometers to the south. And that's where Tutankhamun was found, that's where Ramesses were found. So pharaohs have nothing to do with pyramids. In all the hieroglyphic writings from Egyptian times, not a single word about building of the pyramids. So we need to change our view of the history. We need to base it on scientific arguments.
هل هذه الأهرامات بنيت في نفس الحقب التاريخية ولا مختلفة؟
Different eras. The oldest pyramids are the biggest. Those that came later were built by known pharaohs or Chinese emperors or Mayans. But they did not have engineering skills to make the same original superior pyramids. They did not have mathematical knowledge, geometrical or astronomical.
يعني كل ما قدمنا كل ما يكون هناك أكبر من الأهرامات الحالية. فهل هناك أكبر من الأهرامات المصرية؟ يعني
The Chinese pyramids, the biggest one is 65 meters. The biggest pyramids in Teotihuacan in Mexico, 74 meters. The biggest Mayan pyramids, El Mirador, Guatemala, 103 meters. The biggest Egyptian pyramids, Cheops, 147. And the biggest pyramid in the world, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, over 220 meters.
200.
220.
طيب هل يعني الناس اليوم امام معجزه بناء هذه الاهرامات وانت تقول ان كل ما كان اقدم كل ما كان اكبر، كيف بنوا هذه الاهرامات؟
For Egyptian pyramids, we still don't know. Egyptian pharaohs did not have tools to shape the granite. Today, we use diamond tools. They did not have means to transport hundreds of tons of blocks. When Japanese tried to imitate the process 20 years ago from Aswan in Egypt, they took 2 tons block, they put it on the barge, on the ship in the river Nile, and the barge sank. And the biggest block in Khafre pyramid is 220 tons. So the question is, how did they move it? It was more advanced civilization than ours.
ما هو تأثير الأهرامات على يعني من وجهة نظرك شو تأثير الأهرامات على الأرض ككل؟ يعني هذه الأهرامات لو قلنا كلها متجمعة شو تأثيرها على الأرض؟
Yes, there are a lot of studies, especially in Russia and in Bosnia, about how the pyramid energies affect life. If you put seeds in the pyramids, they grow much faster. If the pyramids are built and you bring prisoners like they did in Russia, they become less violent. If you have plants, they grow better. So the shape of the pyramid is very important. It is most powerful shape in the nature. It generates several types of energies that are all beneficial for society, for plants, for surrounding areas.
حتى لو كانت هذه الأشكال مختلفة، يعني هناك اختلافات بين مثلا هرم المكسيك الهند عن الهرم المصري يعني.
I'm talking about the pyramids that are original and built per certain specifications. It has to be four-sided pyramids. It has to be oriented to the cardinal points, north, south, east, west. Our planet is nothing but a huge ball of energy. Everything is energy. And within this ball, there is energy flow. It flows north-south. So when you make pyramid oriented north-south, it initializes movement within the pyramid. The ancient builders knew that.
اوكي، منو بنى الاهرامات؟ يعني هذه المختلفه من اي عصر موجوده؟
In Egypt, we still don't know. In China, the oldest one, 20 big pyramids, we don't know. In Bosnia, we don't know. We can see that they were able to manipulate with huge quantities of material. In case of Great Pyramid of Egypt, 5 million tons of materials. But the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 18 million tons of materials. Cahokia pyramids in the US, in the state of Illinois, 200 of them, tens of millions tons of materials. And they knew exact position of the cosmic north. They were very advanced.
في بعض الصور اللي يعني عرضتها في الندوات تشير ان العصر الحجري كان في هناك بعض الاهرامات فيها.
Exactly. The motifs on Egyptian prehistorical vases, you can see a lot of pyramids, and those vases are 2,000 or 3,000 years older than the first pharaohs. So obviously the pyramids were there before Egyptian civilization flourished. My opinion is that the original pyramids were built more than 12,500 years ago. This is before the end of the last ice age. When the ice age was completed, the whole world flooded. The knowledge was lost. 99% of people were wiped out. So those who survived had to start from the beginning, and they thought they are the first one because the knowledge was disconnected.
فاحنا ممكن نقول اليوم ان البدايه من نهايه العصر الجليدي من 2500 سنه.
Exactly. This is what in science is called Neolithic times. But this is only the last cycle of humanity. We started from the beginning, and today in 21st century we are at the peak of our technology and intelligence.
طيب هناك اهرامات تحت الماء، يعني تحت البحر او تحت هل هذه لها نفس الطاقه الموجوده في الاهرامات اللي
on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, between Japan, Taiwan and China, 13 underwater cities were discovered in the last 20 years. You can clearly see megalithic structures stepped in design with temples on the top. At one time, they were on the surface. Today, 80 meters below the surface. So, when they were built, after that a huge global catastrophe came. It was 12,000 years ago. But it tells us that we have material proofs of very advanced civilization in the previous civilization cycle. What was their purpose? Not enough investigation has been done.
طيب لماذا يهاجمونك يعني جمعيات مثل الباحثين، المحطات التلفزيونية، حواس فور اكزامبل، دائما يهاجمون هذه النظرية ربط الأهرامات مع بعض؟
Whenever you come with the new and progressive ideas, there are those who want to keep status quo. They attack you. The bigger ideas, the bigger the obstacles. What I bring with our research in Bosnia is the facts that the pyramids are built everywhere. Secondly, much older than previously thought. So we have to change the history books. PhDs are not good anymore. Professorships also. The way they teach our kids is wrong. These are big changes, and they will fight against us. They will boycott us. They will try to discredit us. But scientific progress should not have limit. We need to find the truth about our past because we can learn from it.
اوكي. احنا راح نكمل بعد الفاصل. فاصل وراجع لكم. دكتور سامي، يعني هذا الهجوم عليكم يعني هجوم علمي بحت. يعني هناك من يرد ان في هرم في بوسنيا، هناك من يرد ان هذا الهرم حتى لو كان موجود هو من صنع الطبيعه. فشنو ردك عليهم؟
The attacks are coming from people who have never visited the site in Bosnia. It is always on personal basis. They try to discredit you, claiming there is nothing there.
Why?
Because the change is too big. On the other hand, everything we do, we use scientific methods. This is interdisciplinary scientific project. We have teams of specialists, classical sciences like archaeology, geology, Egyptology, pedology, biology, with the high-tech satellite screening, georadar, geothermal analysis, and experts in energy phenomena, physicists, electrical engineers. This has become the most active archaeological site in the world. So when you ask me, how do we respond? It's always with the scientific facts. We have had 3 international scientific conferences. 100 scientists confirmed that we have genuine archaeological site. This project brings 7 elements that will forever change the human history. Number 1, these are first pyramids in Europe. Number 2, they are the biggest, the largest on the planet. Number 3, the orientation of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia to the north is the most precise on the planet. Number 4, when we remove the soil from the pyramid, we find concrete blocks, rectangular in shape. This is the best quality concrete ever. Number 5, these are the oldest pyramids.
من يقول ان هذا الافضل ان هذا الافضل.
What we did, we took samples and sent them to 6 institutes for materials in Bosnia, Italy, France. In France, it went to Dr. Joseph Davidovits, the leading world experts in ancient concretes. He found artificial binding material, which he calls geopolymer cement. In Italy, it went to Politecnico di Torino, a huge scientific organization. They said they used clay as a binder for the concrete. So they confirmed it's artificial concrete material. Number 5, these are the oldest pyramids on the planet. Through the radiocarbon datings, we established the minimum age of the pyramid over 25,000 years ago. Number 6, under the Bosnian pyramids is the most extensive network of tunnels and chambers. And number 7, in those tunnels we discover huge megalithic blocks. We analyzed them, they told us it was ceramic, artificially made. So these 7 elements forever change what we think we knew about the ancient history.
هل يعني آثار المصرية بعثوا أحد يكتشف ما لديكم حتى يؤكد أن خصوصا من خبرة يعني أن هذا الهرم نفس الهرم في مصر؟
In 2006, we asked the Egyptian government to send us 3 experts. First one to come was Dr. Ali Barakat, man with 40 years of experience in geology and archaeology. He spent 42 days in Bosnia investigating our pyramids. He made scientific report, which he read at the press conference in Sarajevo June 23, 2006, he ended his report with the words, "Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is a man-made pyramid." However, when he went back to Egypt, some of his superiors attacked him. They said, "You betrayed your country of Egypt because now tourists will go to Bosnia." And they fired him from the Ministry of Geology. This is not scientific way.
only one there's بس واحد ولا أكثر من واحد.
Then Mohammed Ibrahim Ali, professor from Ain Shams University, came. He is very good friend of Dr. Zahi Hawass, who for a very long time was the head of Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities. Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Ali was checking our sites. We had everything on camera. He said, "Wow, this is artificially made. You need to find out who built this. What are these? Temples, pyramids. You need to research." 8 years later, when he had conference in Sarajevo with Associated Press and France Press and Reuters, he was very hesitant. He said, "Well, you need to investigate." So he received instructions not to give open confirmation. Unfortunately, a lot of politics in science.
Only two يعني هل دزوا اثنين ولا أكثر؟
And then Lamia El Hadidi, she's archaeologist from Egypt, came. She was working on the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. She was discovering paved terraces, artificially made. She called Zahi Hawass. She said, "We have very important archaeological site. You should come." We sent him invitation. He never came. 2 years later, we offered him to be a president of our scientific conference on Bosnian pyramids. He refused. He instructed the Egyptians in the future, if they go to Bosnia, to claim it's all natural.
هل الحرب لها علاقة بالسياحة ولا لها علاقة بالآثار ولا علاقتها في شنو بالضبط؟ اقتصاد؟
Discovery of Bosnian pyramids is not a local discovery. It is global, scientific, economical, and political. As you know, history is not written by small nations and small people. It was written by Englishmen, their elites, or American, or German. And now we have one small non-profit foundation and one small man who independently work, changing the history. This is too much for elites. On the other hand, little Bosnia has a chance with billions of dollars from tourism to decide about its destiny. Some people don't like that. This is all politics. But as a scientists, we need to rely our decisions on scientific arguments.
طيب من وين دعم هذه الجمعية؟ من وين تحصلون على الدعم لهذه الجمعية؟
Now, this is the first case that a non-profit foundation runs a big project. It is not run by departments of archaeology, museums, Ministry of Cultures, by people who are paid to do their job, but by enthusiasts, people who love the research, who love the pyramids, who love its own countries. So, unfortunately, Bosnia is a very poor country. Even the National Museum is closed due to the lack of the money. But our project grows every year because of volunteers who come from all over the world because they want to be an active part of the history. So when you're asking about the money, we don't have money, but we have enthusiasm. Now imagine what we could do with some funds from friendly countries like Kuwait or Gulf countries or others who are helping Bosnia during the 90s in the war. But now this is not about the help, this is about the partnerships. We can make business projects together. We can work on tourism, on energy research, on concrete research, on healing water research. So we are opening a complete new door.
هل الحكومة البوسنية ساعدتكم في البداية على اكتشاف هذا الهرم؟
In the beginning, the Bosnian government was very helpful, but then Some professors of history, archaeology, geology, they were asking government not to help anymore. So now they are a little bit distant, but we have permissions to work indefinitely, and that's very important. So people who appreciate what we do, they are helping us in financial way, as volunteers, as tourists. They come, they see, they are very impressed.
شنو يميز ماذا يميز هذا الهرم عن بقية الأهرام؟
The Bosnian pyramids are the most open project in the world. If you want to go and dig in Egypt, you cannot do that. If you want to do measurements besides archaeology, they don't let you. The same thing in Mexico or China. But in our case, we welcome everyone because the knowledge, the cultural heritage does not belong to one organization or one little country. It belongs to all of us. So what we do the measurements, not only proving that this is construction complex, we have proven that. You have shape of pyramid, 4 sides, triangular faces, corners, same slope. It is covered by concrete blocks, artificially made, passageways inside, underground tunnels. So somebody built a complex. Now the question is, yes, the question is, what is the purpose of pyramids? For that, archaeologists cannot help, but physicists. They measured on top of the pyramid, in the radius of 4.5 meters, energy beam going up. It is electromagnetic in nature, frequency 28 kilohertz. This is not a natural frequency. This is something that you need technology.
منو قاس هذا؟
We had 5 teams. One from Zagreb, the physicist, his PhD, his name is Slobodan Mizrak. One from Serbia, engineer Goran Marjanovic. One from Finland, sound engineer Heikki Savolainen. One from Italy, Professor Paolo De Bertolist, anthropologist. And again, one from Serbia, engineer Goran Samoukovic. They brought their equipment at 5 different times, and they always had the same measurement. In science, it is called international verification of the results. So now, you have energy beam coming to the top of the pyramid. We measure it in summer, spring, fall, winter, 3 years now. It is always there. It means it is continuous. So the pyramid generates this energy beam, and its strength is higher as you move away from the pyramid. It means theoretically that it can go anywhere in our universe. So these are the secrets of the pyramids that we need to discover. And that's not the only energy phenomenon. On the top, in the radius of 10 meters, we measured ultrasound beam. Ultrasound we cannot hear, animals can, but we can measure it. It is also 28 kilohertz frequency. Why the ultrasound is important? At this frequency, you can see that some light objects, like ping pong balls, they can levitate. And the third energy phenomenon, inside the pyramid, inside the tunnels, we measured 7.83 hertz. This frequency in science is called Schumann resonance. This is the best frequency for our brain, for our mental capabilities, and our spiritual capabilities. So somebody built the complex to give us most beneficial frequencies that we need for our bodies.
طيب سؤالي من شقين. أول، ما علاقة الأهرامات في الاتجاهات الفلكية، وهل كل الأهرامات الموجودة لها نفس الخواص ولها نفس الفوائد ولا تختلف؟
Now, we in Bosnia have been working only 8 years, but we have done more than Egyptologists for 200 years. because they are sometimes close-minded, they don't let other disciplines, other experts to explore. We are open. We are the only one who had physicists on the top of the pyramids. And that's why we know all this information. So we need to open Egypt and China and Mexico and Peru to do more research, because we as a humanity can learn from the past. The ancient people had their way to live in harmony with our planet. They did not behave as conquerors, but they tried to work with earth energies.
اوكي. بعد الفاصل نسأل عن عن أهمية هذه الأهرامات، الهالة. وايد أسئلة عن الأهرامات، خصوصا الهرم في بوسنيا هو الهرم الأكبر. فإحنا فاصل وراجع لكم. موضوعنا اليوم وايد علمي ومعقد، بس يعني يسوى أن نناقشه. دكتور سامي، شنو فائدة اليوم اكتشاف هرم الكبير وهرم الحب حسب ما عرفت، وفي هرم ثالث في هرم القمر في البوسنة؟ هالثلاثي شنو شكلهم؟
We know now that the ancients were more developed than we thought. What we can learn from them? Under the Bosnian pyramids is a huge labyrinth consisting of tunnels and chambers. Deeper we go in this labyrinth, we notice that people feel better and better. If they had asthma, for example, they came out, asthma was gone. They did not need the pumps anymore. If they had allergies, allergies were immediately gone. Headaches, they were gone. We wanted to see what did ancient do. So we measured the concentration of negative ions. Negative ions are good for us because they clean our blood from viruses and bacteria. Inside the tunnels, the concentration is 50 times higher than in this studio tonight, 50 times more healthier. It is 5 times healthier than when you are on the top of the mountain in the forest. So it is like underground healing facility. So we can promote this.
من الثلاث أهرامات في
Yeah, this is in underground tunnels under the pyramids. We have measured in a case of 109 people what happened to their aura, bioenergy field around the body before they enter and after they came. The aura shows if you have any problem, health issue. What happened when people came back from the tunnels? Their aura was much improved, 10%, 20%, 40%. It seems that the process of regeneration is happening inside those tunnels. We also measured if there was any cosmic radiation. As we know, they can be very bad for our health, and our body cells fight those cosmic radiation. But those tunnels are 25 meters below the ground, no cosmic radiation. Our body cells don't have the enemies. They start doing their job. They start fixing the problems in our bodies. So when we have volunteers to come in Visoko, in the heart of Bosnia, they like to be in those tunnels. They work always with smile.
هل هذا معناه أن القدماء كان لهم قدرة على التشافي من خلال هذه الأهرامات أفضل من التقدم الطبي اللي عندنا الحين؟
I think the ancient people were more advanced mentally and spiritually than us. They did not have technology like we do, all these cameras or TVs or computers or cranes. They found another way to move things with the mental capabilities, with the frequencies. They knew what are the good positive places on the planet, and they were building their structures. So when I say we have a lot to learn from them, yes, we do.
طيب هل هناك دكتور طبيب أو مثلا بروفيسور في الصحة في الطب حدد كيف ممكن زيارة هذه الأهرامات أو هذا القناة وكم مرة نزورها يعني؟
Well, we had people who were measuring the asthma. And the best instruments are really the people who are sick from asthma. When they enter the tunnels, they start breathing better than outside. They go outside, they don't need pills or pumps. So this is the best indication. I mentioned volunteers. Our project is the only one in the world who gives the opportunity, not only professionals and archaeologists, but to good intentional people to come and work with us and be active part of discoveries. In 2010, 500 volunteers from 30 countries. In 2011, they came from 32 countries. In 2012, from 52 countries and 6 continents. They came to little remote Bosnia, which was known only for the war and violence and negative news. We want to change that. We want this country to be known as the country of archaeology, cultural heritage, tourism, young people coming there, and those young at their hearts. So I extend the invitation now to all Kuwaitis to come to this beautiful country of Bosnia. It's green during the summer. People are very hospitable. They can learn and they can exchange their knowledge with the people from Brazil or New Zealand or Sweden or Jordan or Mexico.
اوكي. انا الحين بس مجانا طبعا اشوف الهرم هذا. انا عندي سؤالي سؤالي عن الهرم. هل الاهرامات كلها مسطحه بزاويه ولا
The original pyramids always had flat top, and at the top they had pyramidion, also in the shape of the pyramid, but always from the better quality material, from granite, gold-plated granite, or gold. All the pyramidions are missing because they were most important part of the energy machine. With this pyramidion, they could focus, they could direct energy beams. With the pyramidions, they could calibrate. So when you take important part, the pyramid does not work properly anymore. Many archaeologists do not understand us today, but in 20 or 50 years, they will follow our steps.
طيب أنا شفت في بعض الصور أن أطفال يزورونكم يشوفون هذا الصخرة اللي تحت في ما تحس أن هذه فيها مخاطرة على أرواحهم أو يعني خصوصا ما أثبت اليوم أن الجانب يعني السيء أو الجانب اللي هو
It's not risky for anything, for anyone. We have opened and cleaned and secured about 940 meters of those tunnels. They run for tens of kilometers. Tourists come only in the safe areas where there is no work involved. And you mentioned this is a megalith, we call it K2. It is from ceramic, artificially made, with a very good positive energy. People come, they open their hands, they receive the energy through their bodies. Why is it important? When they enlarge the aura, when they have a better energy flow in their bodies, they develop spiritual capabilities and mental capabilities. This frequency of 7.8 hertz is the best frequency for us. So people come there, they meditate, they got healed. So you are within our Mother Earth. There is a reason why the ancients call it its mother, because it is really our mother. It gives us life.
زين هل تعتقد هناك في ترابط بين وجود أهرامات تعطي الطاقة الإيجابية وأشجار تسحب الطاقة السلبية من الناس؟
I think the ancients knew what you need. When you get this positive energy, it is like your immune system is getting higher, and then you can deal with your problems. But it's not enough to come only one. And it is good for our tourism, so people need to come several times a year. But I think that in architecture we need to go back to the pyramid shape and also dome shape is half ball, half circle, because these are the most powerful shapes.
شنو المشروع اللي قاعد تسويه في الهرم هذا يعني your target?
What we would like to do, to build a replica of pyramids, which we call the pyramids of the sun and the moon and the dragon and earth and love. Now, we can build also a hotel, touristic, healing, recreational and museum complex that will have the same features like the pyramids. Through this complex we can grow the organic food, offer clean water, so we can help the Bosnian economy. Right now unemployment rate is the biggest in Europe. 50% of the people are unemployed. Because of the war, Bosnia has become the least developed country in the region. We need to find business solutions for Bosnia. Not to ask humanitarian help, but we need to offer jobs to the people. They need to work for themselves. And this project can be the engine of the Bosnian economy.
أختم سؤالين. الأول، تعتقد أن اليوم لو يصمم الإنسان بأي مكان، في حديقة، في مزرعة، في أي مكان، يصمم شكل هرم ويعيش فيه، هل هذا جيد له من الناحية الصحية أو؟
There is a very strict science about the pyramids. When you build it, the pyramid shape should be four-sided, oriented to the north. But the sides should not be completely straight. They need to be a little concave. And then they work the best. But also, materials are important. The best way is to use natural materials, what you have locally. And then also, you need the negative ions for the atmosphere to clean your body. You need good frequency. The one that we have in our studio, in our homes, is 50 hertz. That's very bad. We need to change that. So these things are important for our health.
السؤال الثاني، هل تعتقد أن بناة الأهرامات القدم، يعني اللي بنوا الأهرامات، كانوا في تطور أكثر من اللي احنا نعيشه حاليا، وأنهم أفضل من اللي احنا نعيشه مع هذا التقدم الكمبيوتر وغيرها؟
The pyramid builders were more advanced than us. Today we cannot make replica of Great Pyramid of Egypt. We don't have the knowledge.
اوكي. طيب شنو ارتباط، شفت انا خريطه ارتباط الاهرامات مع بعضها، الاهرامات الثلاثه في البوسنه، وشفت خريطه ارتباط اهرامات ثانيه. شنو علاقه هذه الاهرامات مع بعض وماذا تعطي للارض يعني؟
I think the original pyramids in China, Bosnia, Mexico, Egypt, Peru, they were connected. They were built by civilizations who were communicated, or maybe with one super civilization. So we need to find out how they were using those energy properties. That's why we need to establish new science called the pyramid science.
اوكي. دكتور سامي، انا شاكر وجودك معنا في اليوم السابع، وان شاء الله يعني افدنا الناس في هذه الاطروحات، وان شاء الله الويب سايت موجود على الشاشه، اللي يبي يتواصل مع الدكتور سامي، اللي بيعرف يتطوع معاهم في الحفر، في المساعده، هم محتاجين ناس وايد يساعدونهم. اذا ما تساعد انشر مشروعهم، دز احد يساعد. احنا حلقتنا اليوم معاكم انتهت في اليوم السابع. شاكر الدكتور سامي وجوده معانا، شاكر الاخ احمد الشمي اللي قام بدور رائع في الترجمه، ونلقاكم ان شاء الله في حلقه مقبله. في امان الله.